MrBeast recently put out a video of him doing more of his philanthropy work. He funded the construction of 100 wells in different countries in Africa. And I'm sure you remember when he put out that other video where he cured thousands of people from blindness by paying for their surgeries. And a lot of people called him the Antichrist for that. I don't think he's the Antichrist, but he's not responding to the backlash very well on this one. Not that I agree with the backlash either, but he's kind of made a mistake by calling this a cancellation moment for him.
No, I think this is planned. I think this was done for this exact reason.
You think that he does charity work just to get hate?
No, I think the tweet was done to promote interest in the project.
Right, like I didn't even see that many negative comments before I went and saw his own tweet about it. Like he's kind of drudging up more negativity than is warranted and fishing for compliments.
I don't know. I don't think it's fishing for compliments. I don't think he takes the time to read any of this stuff. I think it's fishing for eyes on the product so that more people will watch.
If he's not reading the comments, how would he know that people are mad? He's tweeted,
he can look at
I
headlines.
already know I'm gonna get canceled because I uploaded a video helping people, and to be 100% clear, I don't care. I'm always going to use my channel to help people and inspire my audience to do the same. So a lot of people are mad about the video itself and his response taking the focus away from the philanthropy work. This one says, MrBeast at his big age still can't see what's wrong with this framing. Tackily packaging a myth, mostly to children, that Africans are helpless, featureless subjects of his kindness, that Africa can only be helped by a white celebrity who's amassed immense wealth first.
Let's break that down here first. So basically he went to Africa, he built 100 wells, he helped a crap ton of people. Yes, there was a lot of shots in the video. If you guys go, you can go and check it out. It's on his main channel. It's not on his philanthropy channel. He has other videos from the same area on his philanthropy channel. And yes, there are a lot of shots of like the kids when he arrives, like treating him like a god almost.
Yeah.
And those shots are in a lot of ways, like they make me roll my eyes. But I get the jig, right? I get what the point of it is you're establishing a story here of what you've done for the people here. And also, is he supposed to not include it? Like, is the idea that this happened and he's supposed to just not include it at all because he's like, oh, that's too blasé. Well, this is what actually happened, so it doesn't matter.
One of the main takeaways that people had from his video is it's insane that a YouTuber has to go build wells in Africa instead of their local governments handling that.
Even our government, our government spends $8 billion.
Flint still doesn't have clean water.
I've heard that that's not true anymore, but I'm not.
I don't know.
Certain. But our government spends like $8 billion a year in aid, giving aid to Africa. And these things
and where
go
does
unanswered.
It go?
And where does it go?
It just disappears.
So what it is, I think a lot of it is that he shines a light on the shortcomings of government, right? So these people look at it as evil capitalism, but what he's actually shining a light on is the inefficiency and failure of graft and government.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think that they like that because
which it's not articulated in that way, but still when people watch the video, they learn that from
It'd be funny if he started making like MrBeast passive aggressive videos. He's like, sure would be great if Joe Biden could come over here and build a well, but I guess not. Oh, sure would have been great if Donald Trump would have built a few wells here in Africa, but I guess not.
I think that he had good intentions and self-interested motivations, just like anybody who does charity work.
When you like capitalism,
what is the difference?
Charity through that's the beauty of it, right? Is like when you create something of value and you give to someone else, it is not inherently bad for you to reap the benefits from it in another way, right? So he goes to a foreign country, he gives them something incredible that will hopefully last them a very, very long time. He benefits by gaining publicity for his brand and uses the proceeds, because he talks about it in this video, the proceeds from this video are going to build more wells. Should you be should you be curious about whether the money actually gets there? Yes, I think everybody should actually look at everyone who claims to be doing philanthropic work with a questionable eye, right? You shouldn't just take anybody at face value. But the idea that somebody is to be blanket criticized because they're not giving back to the world in the way that you would, which would be by saying tax me harder, daddy, right? Like that's what they're saying.
They're like, he's not recognizing the systemic issues that were interplayed to get to the point where these people didn't have a well. And it's like, that's not in a YouTuber's purview.
No. And at the end of the day, his job is to make content. This part of the channel is to make content and help other people.
He does charity work ever without publicizing it?
I'm loath to speculate. But here, the better question is, would you have a problem if the only time he did charity work was to help others, was to gain publicity? Does that bother you?
I mean, it doesn't bother me, but that's certainly the image that he's putting out there.
Yeah. Like, I don't see any, like, it doesn't bother me when people give to other causes and then promote it in that way. I don't get it. I don't get it when the other options are so inefficient and so poorly handled. Like, these people aren't going, like, people in Africa aren't going to care where it comes from. They just want the help, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make him, are they basically saying he's a sellout? What are they saying here?
Well, here, let's read some of these criticisms. MrBeast is never realizing why people criticize him. Hey man, I don't like the disingenuous and disconnected nature of some of your videos. It can feel phony. But I made people see again. Yeah, I have no issue with that part. Guess I'm canceled. Yeah. Some people were saying, you know, canceled as a word has no meaning anymore because people will just slap that term on any time that they're getting criticized for anything as a way to not address it. Another one said, we don't give an F that you're helping people. We just rather you didn't make 90% of the runtime shots of Kenyan children treating you like you're a god while doing the bare minimum to address issues surrounding why they need wells in the first place.
It's not his job to do that. He's not making an
He's not the UN.
He's not making an educational video. He's making a video of he himself going to a foreign country and helping them. I don't know what you want from him in this respect. Somebody else was saying, like, they're like, this isn't altruism. I'm like, the point is that somebody was helped, right? If the idea is that you base everything on intentions and not outcomes, then you get a lot of horrible things have been done in the world with great intentions. I'm not looking at his intentions. I'm looking at the outcome of what happened.
You're thinking, I would rather he do something good with bad intentions than something bad with good intentions.
Yes. Yeah.
Although we would hope it's good intentions and good outcome.
I would rather for both, and I guess that's kind of a scary binary to put somebody in, like, situation wise. Like, what is the bad intentions and what is the good
bad
outcome?
Intentions, I suppose, are they think he's self-aggrandizing.
Yes.
They think that he's selfish.
I would rather he go in selfishly with the hope of growing his brand to new heights and help some people who are struggling than have him go in and try to. What would be the opposite of that? Like, go in and say, like, I don't care if it helps me as long as I do something good, and then nothing good gets done.
Like, how would he have the money and resources to do any of this if he didn't publicize it?
Yeah.
That's the point.
That's the catch-22. And this is the thing that I always point out that happens, like when you see the leftists who advertise their Kickstarter campaigns, and they make sure you see on the pie chart that none of the money will be a profit because they believe profit is a dirty word, and they don't believe in making any money because they believe all things like that are inherently greedy, therefore need to be abolished.
Like, he had a brand deal in his video, that he made before about building wells, and I wouldn't have really cared if he pocketed the money from the brand deal.
Yeah.
Yet so many people would have probably been so outraged if he did.
Well, I don't know. Was all that money gone to that? Because he said that the money raised from the video is going right back in to build more wells.
Does raised from the video mean ad revenue?
Or does it mean
I don't know.
Like, all these are good questions, but it's crazy.
It it doesn't matter.
Ultimately,
another one said, all these ultra popular internet celebrities going on and on about being canceled is so pathetic. You still have a platform on which you can post freely, and either way, everything you put out is immediately defended by an army of loser preteens and wannabe influencers.
Yeah.
And doing little philanthropic projects with your money, of which there is a lot, is not solving anything. It's helpful, but ultimately like putting a band-aid over a wound.
It's not his job to suture the wound and perform surgery. It's his job to run a business. If that business helps other people, that's great.
It's a little ridiculous to say that it didn't solve anything. Like it solved this small problem in a small community. That is probably only a temporary solution, but it did something.
They would rather that he goes downtown and shout at random people and say, ice cream's so good.
I think they would rather he would be an activist and a protester.
Yeah, he should be going...
That's what they would want. That's what they think is meaningful in the world, is shouting and holding signs.
What they're saying is like, why don't you go and destroy a famous multi-million-dollar painting in the name of stopping oil production? That's real activism.
Yeah. Another tweet said he has the brain of an 11-year-old. Another said, the new video is awesome and I love it, but this tweet just ruined it. What the F is wrong with you? Why would you tweet this? If you really didn't care, you wouldn't talk about it on Twitter, fishing for people to reply.
Again, he's doing it because he's trying to promote his most recent work. I want to point out that this is what I was talking about. This is what they want for activism, guys.
Why is no one stopping them?
Women did not get the vote by voting. It is time for deeds and not words. It is time to just stop oil.
Politics is failing us. Politics failed women in 1914. If millions will die due to new oil and gas licensing, millions! If we love history, if we love art, and if we love our families, we must just stop oil.
They're always so effeminate looking.
Are they mad that they're a painting with oil paint?
This is the activism that they want. This is he says, if you love art, you would just stop oil now, and in the meantime, you can't bring your family to a museum lest we destroy this priceless piece of art.
It's actually crazy that security didn't apprehend them. And through that whole video where they're screaming at everyone.
Like, even the photos of them, they just look like petulant children. Instead, MrBeast uses an incredible business model and infrastructure behind this massive company to help other people, but that's not the type of help they want. This is what they want you to do, because it sows discord in the public sentiment.
And I think you can argue that what MrBeast is doing is misguided, perhaps. Given that, you know, there are unintended consequences. Immediately what I thought is there's going to be some warlord or gang that claims this well that he built and make people pay for access to it, because that's the way that lawless societies operate. And I don't doubt that out of the 100 wells he built, that's going to happen to one of them. Or something breaks.
Upkeep,
what do you do when something breaks? Or the bridge that he built, it's only going to work for a temporary amount of time. But again, that's out of his scope of concern.
Nor is it his job.
And it's not his job.
It's not his job.
And they seemed perfectly happy to receive the help that he gave them, so whatever. Another person said, hey, Jimmy, remember me? I was the third African to get clean drinking water, but when I watched it back, I somehow got edited to look like I was the fourth. Would love for you to send me the raw footage so we can fix this.
Dude, I wish we had the tweets pulled up. It was, what was her name again? Was it
Rosanna Pansino?
Yeah, so she she placed 4th or 3rd, depending on who you ask, in Creator Clash or in Creator.
No, it's an adult hide and seek game.
It was a literal game of adult hide and seek, and she talked about it like it was a Me Too allegation. And she's like, people have
I've been silenced for too long.
She's like, incredible women have been coming forward to share their stories with me. I'm like, there's multiple women with stories about placing 4th in adult hide and seek. That's insane, bro. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.